Hey, can y'all see me? Wow, so foggy. What's going on? Okay, that's a lot better. All right, so thank you. Welcome to my channel. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't yet, okay? So today I'm going to do a breakdown on the 7 types of abusive men, okay? So I did a short about it, and I want to go into a little bit deeper discussion on it. Let me see if I can fix my light. Ooh, oh gosh, goodness, that's too bright. Okay, let's leave it back down. Damn. Whew, almost got blinded. Okay, so basically, the first type of man, there's 3 different traits that all of these abusive men have. Okay, and let me just tell you what they are. They seek to control their partner. They disrespect their partner. They seek to lower her partner's self-esteem, and they undermine her independence. Okay, so that's what all of the abusers have in common. Um, and then, they express their abusive ways above anyone else's needs or feelings. Okay. So this is a from Lundy Bancroft. He's a professional counselor with decades of experience with abusive men, and they are the 7 archetypes. Okay. So number 1 is the demand man. The woman is there to only serve him. So it doesn't matter what he's doing for her. It's never mutually beneficial for her. Okay, it's just more of him getting everything he wants out of her simply because he was born a male. That's how a lot of them feel. Okay, y'all, I don't know if I like this light or not. Forgive me, I just keep playing with this light. I'm gonna just leave it off. Okay, so his needs and wants go over everyone's. The child's, anything she wants is like, no, absolutely not. Okay, and then it's your job to do things for him. He'll get angry if you fail at something. If he's unsatisfied with anything, it's your fault. You should be grateful that he's even giving you scraps. You can never criticize him. And despite it all, he feels like he's a loving man, and you're lucky to have him. Okay. All right. And then this one, I have an ex whose father fit this to the T. Okay. And it is the next one is the military general. Okay, and so he rules with a iron fist over everybody. And I'm telling you, it was to the point that I was like, I knew automatically I was not going to be a part of that situation. And that's one of the biggest parts why I left him alone. Well, I left him alone before I met most of the family. But once I met the family and I seen what they was really about, I was like, oh hell no, these people, they sick in the head. Okay. But let me tell you what they believe in. Okay, they believe in complete control, and they're very, very jealous and protective over the females in their household. Okay, so kind of like how Scarface was over his sister, which that was a weird. I don't know. He had some kind of weird, sick thing going for his sister. But anyway, they treat you like they're owners. Okay, so the fathers in these families not only, do they rule with the iron fist, but they treat you like they own you. And this doesn't just include the immediate circle. This includes generations, like wherever they go in a family, they have that personality. So you'll find that with a lot of military people, a lot of people that have been in wars, things like that. Yeah, I see that a lot. Number 3, Mr. Right. I know it all. You know nothing. Okay. So they they take pride in knowing it all. Okay. And if you keep arguing with them, you're stupid and you're disrespecting them. Okay. They always use your shortcomings against you. Okay. So even like, say, if you make a mistake or you say something, that might not be correct, they'll quickly remind you that's why you're nothing compared to them. So number 4, and these kind of remind me of the same thing, but I assure you that they're not. The master debater. I win all the arguments and you win none. So the master debater is very good, okay? I know a few people like this. They're very skilled at influencing people and their verbal production. So they use their words very well, okay? And the way you notice a master debater is very good at their verbal and mental power. So they know how to gaslight you. If you blow up or get upset at them or become emotional or aggressive, they use that against you to show proof that you're less than, basically. Okay, and they're very good. And they give an example of Jordan Peterson. I don't know if you guys know who that is, but he's a famous psychologist. And he's really good at the debating techniques. It gets under your skin. So they might not say anything specifically to hurt you or bother you, but the way that they deal with you and handle you, it gets under your skin. It makes you feel less than, basically, okay? But they're very good at getting their talking points across. They're also very good with sucking in other people to agree with them as well. So you have to be very careful, because those are the master manipulators that can manipulate you mentally and abuse you mentally. But nobody will know it, because it doesn't look like they're doing anything to you physically, or what they're doing, it doesn't look like they're doing any harm to you, but generally they're breaking you down mentally. So those are, yeah. And then number five is the sensitive guy. This is the guy that's always complaining. He's been victimized. All women have done him wrong. His family has done him wrong. He's overly sensitive. You can't really say anything to correct him, because, oh, why are you talking to me like that? You don't respect me, stuff like that. So they always find faults and pain within you. Okay, they always feel like you're doing this to them. Let's see. Similar to sensitive guy, this is the victim, sensitive on steroids. So he's hypersensitive to everything. He plays up all his pain. So he excuses his behavior, talk about child abuse, things that happened to him, verbally abuses a lot of his victims. So they may say something like, well, I need some help, paying my car note this month. I know you got it, but you don't want to help me. And I have an ex that just did this yesterday, maybe yesterday or the day before. He sent me a picture or a video or something of a logo that he designed out of nowhere. And he's like, well, I know that you've moved on, or, you don't care about me anymore, but I just want to show you my logo and my design. Okay. Yeah, like that. So next is the abusive player, from object to object of desire to an object, mainly like what pimps do. Okay. In the beginning, they seem like they fall head over heels for you. A lot of word salad. They may even spend a few dollars on you, dote on you, love bomb you, things like that. And yeah, so it looks like, he's got everything a man, should have, or whatever. So you wonder why he's single. But as you get to know him, and I met somebody like this, and I couldn't put my finger on it. I felt like something was off. He was good looking. I mean, he was good looking. He was successful, but there were certain things that gave it away. Like I could just pick up on certain things. So I was just like, oh. So after that, that was one date, and I never seen him again. I blocked him. I never talked to him again. So he feels very good about himself. He does have sociopath tendencies. A lot of them are narcissistic, okay? And so they spend less time with you, don't want any restrictions on his freedom, okay? So these are the players. There's one very famous channel on YouTube, and he pretty much tells guys to F them H's to sleep, or F them B's to sleep. So you'll probably pick up on who I'm talking about. But he is known for having a lot of different women, and a lot of the tactics he does use on them. Like he'll have different rotations and everything. And when they want to know what we're doing, or where we're at, or how do you feel, he refuses to really talk to them. Everything is very surface level, very sexual. So Yeah, those are those types. So a pimp can be like a crossover between a player and an abusive man. Okay, and so they're very good at knowing women, what women like. They study women, and just about every man studies women, is from what I'm learning or from what I'm seeing. Another thing that pimps do, and a lot of men do, they'll pit women up against each other. Okay, so they may say something like, "Oh, well, this woman used to do this and that for me, or whatever," or I'm saying, "Yeah, most of the women I have, they look like this," or they'll always try to find a way to make you feel like less than. Or, for instance, a lot of guys do this. They will talk about their baby mothers, or they'll talk about their girlfriends or their wives like they ain't or like they're doing them so wrong. And by them doing that, it makes you want to step up and try to prove that you're different. Okay. Or like they'll talk so bad about their baby mothers or the women that they were dealing with before you, that it makes you automatically not like these women without even meeting them. So they're very good at putting women up against each other, trying to make them compete. I've seen a lot of this. Okay, and they may even make up stories, and it says basically to make you jealous and keep you on your toes because it increases his value. Okay. They're very much womanizers. They're not players, but they're very abusive. They're womanizers and abusive. And that's why you hear a lot of them, pimps beating on their women and everything like that. So it's really that they trick you. They trick you with words. They trick you with word salad. They trick you with doing nice little things for them. If you have a problem that needs to be resolved, they'll do it. But at the same time, they're taking way more out of you than what they're giving. Okay. And then number seven, last but not least, is the criminal abuser, 360 degrees of abuse. This is like the worst one because he like uses all of these things, and he's usually not just abusive towards women, just only women. He's abusive towards everybody. Okay, men, women, and children. So these are definitely some of the worst ones. And let's see. Of course, he doesn't begin out like that. He doesn't start off like that. He presents himself as fearless. So because he presents himself as fearless, women naturally feel protected being around him. But it's kind of like, and I know this for myself, but they have an example of like having a pet grizzly bear. Okay, that grizzly bear is going to keep other grizzlies away or whatever. Kind of like the better the devil kind of thing. Okay, but this guy can turn on you in a heartbeat. So he feels like aggressiveness is good. Anything mannish is good. Anything gay looking or anything is not good. They have very little compassion and conflict resolution. They either don't believe in that, or it's terrible. So this isn't the kind of guy that you can really talk to and then he'll have sense about it. It's like he shuts down all emotions. Like he doesn't want to hear about what you're going through or anything, things like that. He effed up, okay? Very, very angry, very abusive, very jealous. He's got some deep, deep problems. And then it says, what other things? Oh yeah, he gets pleasure on seeing you in pain. Okay, so once he beats you or whatever stuff, or once he beats someone, he leverages his power through physical violence. Okay, he likes to inflict pain. So you'll see a lot of these guys or whatever. You might see them on the news, and they're jaying people and beating men and women up, and abusing animals and kids and stuff. They really sick in the head. Okay, those are like the worst ones. So those are the type of people that you can't tell them you're gonna leave. I always say, don't tell a man that you're gonna leave. If you're being abused, you just got to get out of there. You don't prepare them. You don't cuss them out and say, "Oh, I'm leaving you," and all that stuff. No, because those type of people, the thing is, they become dependent on women. All right. So the next thing is, usually those type of men, the legal system won't even keep them away. Okay, so you're gonna have to take things into your own hands. All right, 9 times out of 10, those type of men, you're gonna have to either get far, far away from them, as far as like maybe leaving the state or something, get you some weapons, some cameras, all kind of stuff. These dudes, Yeah, because here's the thing. The thing about a lot of the abusive guys or whatever is that they do become very dependent on their women. Okay, they do. And the thing about it is, once a man becomes dependent on you, it's just like you become like property to them. You really become like a slave. So that's just what I wanted to say about that. So yeah, I'm just turning my music back up because I was jamming. It's just a little too loud for a second. Okay. So let me go back to this. Okay. Are abusers dependent on women? And the answer for that is that yes, they are very dependent on women, which we already knew that. But of course, they don't want to admit that. So let's see. They'll go into a tailspin when she tries to leave them. Not all of them are like that. Not all of these abusive men are dependent on women, but a lot of them are, okay? And yeah, they're afraid of losing you and that bond that they have with you. They have an extreme anxious attachment style. So yeah, controlling is their way of keeping that relationship, and a lot of times they feel like that's their way of loving you. So that's really crazy. But a lot of women that have been brought up in that situation, and a lot of men that have been, brought up in that situation, because the woman didn't leave, they feel like it worked. So that's the sad part about it. A lot of these abusive tactics work or whatever because the woman feels either too afraid or too dependent on the abuser. And then a lot of times women will have a trauma bond with this abuser. See, I thought that trauma bond meant, okay, you went through something bad, I went through something bad, we're bonded with that. But no, that's not what trauma bond means. Trauma bond means that you're loyal to your abuser. So you'll see a lot of that. A lot of these are misogynists, and they want you to put them before the children because they never had unconditional love from their own mothers. So that was really interesting. And yeah, so no matter what, there's reasons behind the abuse. Any relationship with abusive men is a toxic relationship. Abusers have really big but fragile egos. They say dispel that myth. Abusers have low self-esteem and they're weak. That's not always true. They have big egos. So they feel like because they're men, because they feel like they're more, a man. They feel like because they're more powerful physically, that they are entitled to act a certain way. And because you're a female and you're so-called the weaker sex, you're supposed to be dominated and done any kind of way. You're there to serve them. Your feelings, it's all about them. Okay. So here's the difference between psychopaths and violent men. Some abusers are psychopaths, okay? And yeah, and some of them just have those psychopath traits. So let's see. Ooh, oh gosh. Okay, some display violence towards others, some display it only toward their partner, some feel a little remorse, some feel no remorse at all. Some are motivated by gratification, some are motivated by fear of abandonment, some are able to let go and move on. Some of them are obsessive and stalk their victims. Some of them feel superior. Some of them adopt the role as a victim. Some of them talk really fast. They know how to spin a story for the police. Some have greater emotional liability. Some are charming and charismatic. Some are depressed and introverted. Most of them have a traumatic upbringing, violence prevalent in their family. Some of them have some degree of violence in their background. Oh my gosh. Oh, some of them become more manipulative, so the partner is less likely to leave. And the partners, some are more likely to leave their partners. Some are 90% antisocial, and some are only 33% antisocial. Oh my gosh. Oh, Lord. Now they're talking about like the ones that threaten with knives, gun use, violence, things of that nature. Yeah, so my whole thing is this. Like I said before, I have encountered a lot of these guys, if not all of them, either directly or indirectly. So I made this to give you more of a breakdown of what type of men you should be aware of. Next time, I'm going to do a breakdown of the type of women. Because here's the thing, sadly, a lot of times women pick up these traits. Like, okay, so if you're being abused, okay, if you're in an abusive home, abusive situation, you'll swear up and down that you'll never do that when you grow up or whatever. You'll never be a part of it, but you'll unconsciously seek these type of men out because you feel like you're familiar with this, okay? And then the bad part about it is what I tell men all the time, and I try to stress to them, is that once you run game on a woman, you teach the game. Okay? When you run the game, you teach the game. So that's why a lot of these women become exactly the type of people that they tried to get away from. Okay? And it's really sad. I see this a lot too. I mean, I've met some of the most angry, evil that you would ever want to meet, okay? And that's because they were brought up in this kind of situation. And they had to find ways to survive. So in order to survive a lot of this stuff, you either had to go along with it or you had to become it yourself. So yeah, like I said, no, I'm not a counselor or whatever, but by me going to counseling, mm, oh, I gotta do these nails. By me going to counseling, by me just living, by me being in different situations, I know what I'm talking about. Excuse me, I'm not perfect or anything, but the stuff that I be saying, be the stuff that already be they do these statistics on, okay? So yeah, I hope this was helpful for someone. Make sure if you see these traits, sometimes they'll tell you to bring these traits up. If you're close to the person, talk about it. See if they're willing to change it, if they're willing to get counseling. If not, leave. Me, I'm not gonna do all that shit. We not gonna have no long drawn out discussions and stuff like that. Motherfucker, you can't get it right. I'm just gonna leave. If I see it, I'm more likely just gonna leave or just avoid the whole thing. Because I have a whole vetting process. And I really believe that all women should have a vetting process. We're not even gonna get all deep into that, okay? We're not gonna be humping around and doing all this extra stuff. I gotta get to know you first. And if I see these traits in you, man, you won't hear from me again. I ain't got time to be trying to prep you and trying to wait for you to get it together. No, we just ain't right. We ain't right for each other. And you got to get that mentality because your life might depend on it, especially nowadays. Because the sad part is a lot of people know they fucked up, but they don't want to get any counseling. They don't want to get any help. And they look at that like, oh, I ain't gonna let somebody tell me, I ain't gonna pay for that. I ain't gonna let nobody tell me what to do with my life and all that stuff. And then they see that's ruin the rest of their life. It's ruin their relationships. Don't nobody want to deal with them. Their family don't want to take them in, all kinds of stuff. So yeah, but I'm going to end this video. Like I said before, tomorrow I'll probably do the opposite of the abusive men and just show traits of an abusive woman or maybe an abused woman. Not sure which one yet. Okay, if you haven't, like, comment, and subscribe. Bye for now. This tea good?